And we are back once again here on Yankees Baseball Daily. All right, we're going to focus now on the catching situation for the Yankees because it's a little different. Given the pending trade of Jesus Montero to the Seattle Mariners, suddenly he's going to be out of the picture. Is that maybe a good thing for the Yankees?
Well, I think it's a good thing for Austin Romine, who has been following Montero through this system all the way through. And now Romine's going to get a chance either to start at AAA or maybe compete for that backup job with Francisco Cervelli. Personally, I think Cervelli probably has a lock on that spot. I think the Yankees probably want to find out what they have in Austin Romine. He has proved he can catch at the major league level, very comfortable in a major league clubhouse. I think they want to find out what he can do at the bat every day at AAA. And guys, I don't know. He might be a defensive specialist, but he also might be a kid who maybe hits 270, 280, and shows a little bit of power. I think the Yankees want to find that out.
Right, and that's why I think he starts the season at AAA. I'm in total agreement with you. Cervelli is the guy who slots in as a backup catcher. He'll be your guy who catches maybe 40 to 50 games. But I also think that if Romine shows you enough at AAA, you might be tempted to call him up. But I do think he's got to get those at-bats at AAA. There's no doubt that the Yankees love what he does defensively. They'll see what he can do on the offensive side. And with Cervelli, they're happy enough with him. Martin is still going to be their guy. Cashman loves Martin.
And it just seems to make sense. Give Romine that time. But maybe a long look at spring camp, get him to work with a lot of the pitchers, Bob?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, they want to see what they have. But I do think that the Jags is right. I mean, the job is really Russell Martin's. He's only, only finished his age 28 season last year. Had a terrific year, 18 home runs, 65 RBIs. I mean, the pitching staff really, really responded to him. And I was just looking at the numbers. The Yankees' team ERA went down by 10% last year in Martin's first year. Now, it has something to do with Larry Rothschild also, but pitchers do like throwing to Martin, and I think he's here for the long run.
What do you like about him, Flash?
Well, I mean, everything he does behind the plate, and we're seeing some of the highlights. I mean, the way he throws the baseball, blocking the baseball, and you see the numbers here with the running game, pretty impressive. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Yankees are having some discussions possibly about a multi-year deal. I mean, that's how much they liked him last year. Bob mentioned how young he is still, how athletic he is, and how healthy he was all the way through last year. The Yankees are in such a great spot. They have so many catchers coming up through their system. You have Sanchez, who was an A-ball last year. Maybe get a look at him in spring training. We'll see if we can actually see what he's all about. But the Yankees right now, Brian Cashman, you're sitting back saying, we have plenty of catching. It's a nice time to be a Yankee.
I mean, maybe if you do look at it from maybe a 2-year deal, something like that, if Martin's willing to take that, at least allows you 2 years to give Romine a good look. Maybe he works his way in as a backup his second year. See what Sanchez has. You got 2 more years of him. He'll be, what, 21, 22 at that point. So you'll really have a better feel for the younger guys.
Yeah, I think their target date, Bob, for Sanchez, if he can get there, is 2015. That's what they think. The kid is only 19 years old. Last year, as an 18-year-old at Charleston, 17 homers in 82 games. So they love what he brings offensively. But as we look in that crystal ball, you're right. We say, does Martin get 12 and 13? Is Romine your guy by 14? All of a sudden, Sanchez is ready. And we haven't even mentioned a kid, J.R. Murphy, who leaped ahead of Sanchez last year to Tampa from Charleston. So this is going to be a fascinating thing to follow. The Yankees are not going to have an absence of catchers, even after trading Montero.
And with other thoughts on their mind, they didn't want to go into this season thinking, all right, what do we do about catcher? It didn't work out with Russell Martin. It did work out with him. Bob, he was a little bit of an unknown quantity because of his injuries coming into last season, but this must be kind of a luxury for the Yankees now to say, wow, this really worked out. We got time to develop some other guys and just let him catch.
And he did it for $4 million. What a steal. I mean, that's one of the greatest signings that Brian Cashman's had in a while. I mean, absolutely everything went right. He was durable. Martin is tough. Pitchers like throwing to him. There's really nothing to not like about him. I do think that the Yankees are going to make a commitment to him. In fact, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that the Yankees are eventually going to trade Austin Romine. I mean, they have such a surplus. It's going to be a bargaining chip for Cashman in getting what he needs down the road.
All right. Well, let's talk just a little bit more about Russell Martin and the fact that when he came into camp last year, one of the storylines was, how's he going to fit in? Yep. How's this going to work? And he immediately earned the respect of that staff.
Yeah, there was no problem in that department. And, I think about his Dodger career, all I saw was offensive numbers. A good hitting catcher. I did not give him enough respect for what he does behind the plate. You make a mistake with a hanging slider, he has some power. The batting average took a little dip in the middle of the season. But I think if you look at the total package, and Bob said for $4 million, I mean, it was a steal for the Yankees and a very valuable guy to have. A veteran catcher, now knows the American League East, knows all the hitters, probably only going to get better.